So here I am, gonna start work. Just keep praying for another day that the car keeps running. It's already has signs of breakdowns coming on. So many things wrong with it, and they tell me get a different job. Well, I'm trying to get a different job, but there's no jobs out there for a mother that's raised an autistic son for 17 years. My experience all comes in jobs from, say, back when I was, let's see, I started working when I was 15. I had to have my parents' signature to work on the slicer because I wasn't even old enough to do that sort of thing. It was in case anything happened, they wouldn't sue the place. It's kind of funny, ain't it? So I was worked at the deli when I was 15 at a meat market in Neches, and then I also then went and got a job next door at the Dairy Queen. So I was working two jobs at then the age of 16 and kept going until I was 17. I don't know if I was 8. I got a job at the bowling alley with that, so I was doing two jobs. I was working at Crown Furniture and the bowling alley, and I was making tips, helping my friend at the time deliver drinks and stuff from the bar. It was quite fun, but I had to watch it because there were, sick people out there trying to pick you up. So she was the tender, but I was just a waitress, so that was good. I didn't have to put up with that all the time. So pretty much through my life, I've had shit jobs and no money. Got pregnant when I was 23, 24, and I found out my son was autistic. We had tons of hospital visits. I got a calendar that shows every other day we were at the damn doctor or the hospital. What happened was I don't agree. I don't know, after he came home, see, I had a lot of things. I had Rh negative blood. I had supposedly a bacteria that 50% of women carry, group B bacteria. I mean, all this stuff they don't tell you until last second when you go into delivery, and they're pumping in antibiotics in me. The kid's heart rate's up 140 beats per minute. I mean, all kinds of stuff. So at the time my kid's in the hospital, my dad ain't talking to me, and my mom was having lots of problems because she was going through a divorce, and the kind of stuff my dad did was crazy. So you got pregnancy, you got lots of problems with that. That was the beginning. You got my mom and dad going through the divorce, which, like, say for instance, here's him. Yep, she's entitled to have a vet that they have, a Corvette 84, and he gives it to her, but it had no engine. He goes out, gets her a storage, he gets it in her name, which is weird, and sends her the key in the mail. I mean, that's nuts how people could get away with this. I just recently found out that he had gotten a storage in my name. I was told after the fact. I recently found out my credit report has my brother's name on it, or my dad's, because he ended up changing his name to Steve Gambino. I mean, I think he did that to hide something, I really do, or to see if he could get away with something. So there's a lot of fishy stuff going on. But anyway, my pregnancy was going bad. My parents were going through a big, long divorce. It took about 8 years. I mean, come on. They didn't even know no kids involved. This is after we were adults. So it ends up we bring our son home after I have him, and 2 months later he starts having all kinds of problems in between all the problems we had that I'm not mentioning yet. And he goes in and they tell me he has meningitis. They're running cultures for 3 days. It finally comes out it was the group B strep bacteria, and I wanted to sue, but family members were involved on the other side with the people who worked at the hospital. So if we were to bring up anything, it was like they thought it would wreck the friendship or the family, but this was an outside was just a friend of theirs. I didn't quite understand that, but you know, whatever. So we didn't sue. We didn't do nothing, but I could have. So good person me, you know, excuse me. Good person me, I just let it all stay like that. And now we find out later on he's autistic. He still has problems. We have tons of medicines. It's $1,100 a month to keep his medicine. So what I had to do was just never get married and everything, so that way, you know, he could get his Medicaid and all this. I mean, this system of the government or the whatever, whoever's in charge, it's crazy. They don't help you. So I mean, these are just things I'm blurting out. There's so much more detail. And then add in a narcissistic father. I don't find that out till I'm 42, wondering my whole life, you know, what the heck is going on with him. He's all out for himself. It's sick. It's really sick. I'll give you more detail soon. See you later. Off to work.